Hi, I'm Mika Truman, and welcome to my YouTube channel as well as Frankincense School of Mystical Arts. Is your relationship to a point right now where you're having to reset it? And are you kind of even feeling like, okay, I think I'm about done. You are to a point where you may be feeling like, I really am done. Like you're mad, you're angry, maybe there's great imbalance in your relationship, and you kind of feel like, you know what, I put up with certain behaviors for a long time, but I'm done. And you almost fear you're to a point where the point of no return. And this is the point that you didn't want to get to, where you feel like, okay, once I'm done, I'm done. And I am really concerned, like I may not be able to even go back or even open this door up again. Where, because you feel like maybe that I'm being taken advantage of. Maybe they don't do as much for me as I do for them. It's all about them. They just take and take and take, and I give and give and give. Are you to this point? Many of us on the planet right now are realizing that we are to this point, and it doesn't necessarily mean that it's with your boyfriend, your spouse. It could even be your very best friend. It could be even friends, neighbors, family. But it's the relationships that have been so imbalanced for so long. And then you're to a point where, okay, I'm just done. I'm not playing anymore. You're not alone. Because people are feeling this all over the world. And they're really realizing that they have to have the balance in their life, in their relationship, because it's just not about the relationship. It's about having balance in every area of their life. They're not going to work so much anymore. That has to be balanced. They need appreciation. They need respect. And if they don't get it, then they're honestly done. And you are finding that you're almost scaring yourself because you're so done. May I say, often this happens. And then is what happens is the relationship person comes running back in, doing everything that you wish that they would have done a long time ago. And then we could have just totally avoided this whole breakup or the whole upheaval or the argument. And if they would have just heard me, if they would have just listened when I said, hey, I'm unhappy, I really need the balance back. But then they didn't. Don't be surprised if the person and the individuals that you drew that line in the sand with, that all of a sudden they're going to be knocking at your door. And then you need to make the decision. You're going to have to make that choice. Are you going to let them back in or not? Do you want to let them back in? Are you done? Are you really, really, really done? That is going to be you to answer. Only you can answer that question. Are you really, really done? Sometimes the relationship needed this reset in order for things to get back on track. And that's not necessarily bad either. Because sometimes it needs to happen in order for us to be happy, in order for the other person to realize that, wow, you know what? I really haven't treated you very nice and very well at all. Sometimes they don't even realize that everything is and has been about them. They don't realize that. And I know you say, well, that's kind of really sad that they don't notice that I give and give and give and I don't get anything back. But sometimes, and especially during this time right now, everybody's going through a really difficult time, that we get so wrapped up in our own stuff that they don't even realize that they didn't ask if you needed help. They didn't offer help. They didn't ask you, can I come over? Can I bring you food? Are you hungry? You haven't eaten in a day. You've been busy. Something's happened. Sometimes they don't realize that they haven't brought you flowers, or they haven't realized that they said that I love you. They haven't said, like, can I do something for you? They don't realize it. And you know it's sad, but we are going through such major changes on the planet right now that people don't realize it. And so sometimes we need to go in and we just need to reset the relationship. Now, if they decide that, okay, fine, if you're going to be mean to me, because it could be all about them, when you say, you know what, this relationship doesn't work for me anymore. I'm really unhappy. You don't pay any attention to me. You pay attention to everybody else and you don't pay attention to me. Now, they do have that free will. They have that choice where they can say, great, fine, see you, bye. And then you're over here like, wow, they didn't even care? They didn't even care about me at all? Most of the time they do. But the issue is sometimes that they don't want to really look at themselves, that they could have really been like that. That they were that person that you described that was not filling your bucket. They don't want to admit that. They don't want to realize that. It's much easier sometimes to be the victim. Sometimes it's so much easier to just be that person who was done wrong. And yet they weren't really done wrong. But they don't want to see it. But if they can convince everybody else that they were done wrong, then they win. But do they really, really win? No, they don't really win. Because they don't change. And they don't grow. And they don't really, evolve. They don't. So then they stay stuck. Chances are they're going to get into relationships like what you just got out of. If they choose to stay put, then they'll get into another relationship like this, and another one, and then it'll end, and it'll end, and it will end, and then they're still the victim, and they're still the victim, until they realize that, okay, wow, I need to give more of myself. I didn't even realize that I was being so self-absorbed and so selfish. Because sometimes, unfortunately, we can go through a whole lifetime and not realize that we don't give as much as what we thought we were giving. We kind of live in this illusion. And so just be mindful that if you decide, and I can tell you, people are to a point, they're not putting up with imbalances whatsoever in any level, on any level, in any capacity whatsoever. And they're drawing the line, they're walking. And if you decide that, the relationship may really be gone. And I hear you say, great, I don't even care. I walk away, I'm done. I can hear you. But think about the great new possibilities. If they don't come back and take ownership, look at the great possibilities that are in store for you. Look at this brand new life that's going to come for you. And it will find you probably a lot quicker and a lot faster than what you're thinking. But it will come and it will find you. And you will find greater joy and greater bliss and greater happiness in your life than you ever could imagine. That's always usually how it works. Once we decide to be more true and more honorable to ourselves, it opens up all these doors of great happiness and joy. So this is the video definitely to think about. But until next time, jump over to fsma.life. We've got a ton of great psychic courses over there, as well as a lot of free stuff. So blessings to you, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.